Is that seawater?
Look at this, dude.
This is the most disgusting car I've ever touched. Okay, back on some coolant reservoirs. Welded the cap on this guy, and now I'm working on mounting them together. So this is what I've been working on right here for the past like 45 minutes pretty much. The game plan is that I'm gonna cut this here, 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 and then this is going to be a mount that will hold these two together. So it's gonna be boom, 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 like a little bat signal there, and then it'll get welded along here, 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 and it'll keep those very nice and close. I got this to this point here with some hole saws and deburring and the best that I can. You know, a hole saw is not like a very precise tool to cut a hole. I mean, it makes a hole, but sucker wanders around like crazy, so I think it's gonna be good, but I really won't know until I chop this in half, and by then it'll be fully committed and either too late or perfect, so. Hoo-hoo, that's pretty good. It even like holds itself in there snug. That was the right size hole saw for that thing. Damn. All right, couldn't even film stuff because it was like holding 5 things at once. So we kind of finally have a couple of things attached, and we're gonna tack this thing together. It's like very fragile right now, so trying to go fast. You should still be able to like square it up, you know? Yeah, it can still be. Finally, it's there, and it clears the hood. Look at it, right in there. Boom. Fill the radiator from here. When that's full, you fill it from here. That's your radiator cap. Overflow comes out of here into the bottom of the overflow tank. This is your overflow tank water. Top of the radiator goes to that port right there. Then this will go back around to the bottom of the radiator, so it sucks it back in the system. This will be about half full and give you just enough buffer room for it to expand and contrast without puking it all out. Oh, now a bunch of welding. Here it is, the freaking $10,000 catch can. Just kidding, but it was a lot of time. A lot of time into this. Okay, that's good.
All right, so one thing that has become standard with us on all of Matt's cars, the C6 race car and the demo car, is that we use these quick release fittings. We use these for handbrake line, brake lines, and also for surprisingly they make a huge one, which we use for the oil return line on the blower on the pump car. Now since we're working on the C8, I'm gonna go ahead and get these things drilled out. On the competition car, we use these like tiny little tabs that are welded to the chassis. But here on the C8, we've got this flange, and it's pretty dang big. So my plan here is to drill a couple holes in there and get these mounted. What's super cool about these is that they're bulkhead type. So, boom, that's how you take it apart. These will go right through a hole and has the super long fitting. And you'll just use a nut, stick it through, tighten that down, and it's as simple as that. That's mounted. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to drilling, and I'll show you guys the final product when these are done. So like always, you start off with a tiny little pilot bit, then step up to the correct size. In this case, for dash 3/8, 3/8. Finish it off with a deburring bit so that it's got a nice finish. There ain't no burrs, fitting won't get damaged, and you won't hurt your fingers. On to the next hole. There you have it. Both sides are done. Check that out. Oh man, this is literally one of my favorite things, because when we're in a rush doing repairs at the track or prepping the car, it just saves so much time and headache. It means I can service this stuff by myself, or you know, you don't need a second hand. Your other guys can be doing something else while you are finishing up, like with the brakes or the clutch or something. It's just a lifesaver. There it is. Here's the other side. Boom.
Okay, everybody, we're kind of heading into our final push to get this thing ready for paint. There's a handful of things that need to get done on the chassis before we can take it over to Hector at Auto Body Plus for paint. One of those things is the window brace. Because it's a Lexan front window, it needs a window brace, like it's a little T-shape. Gonna weld that into the chassis. The window brace is also gonna be the upper dash mount. Alec is gonna be working on the door handle pulls, which are right here. They're gonna be, the reason why we're doing that, we're not sure if we're gonna weld it, we're gonna bolt it, but he's getting that done. I got the dash bar placed and welded in last night. We're waiting for the transaxle mount and receivers, which are gonna get welded into the frame rail. We should have those in a couple of days. It's getting machined tomorrow, maybe, something like that. And what I'm going to be working on right now is the battery and kill switch strategy. So we have our Group 75 Antigravity Battery, same battery we run in the race car. I'm getting one for the C5, and so basically and it's also the same battery that we carry around to like heat the nitrous bottles up before they go in, because it's so conveniently sized and shaped. It's super cool. It's got a handle on it. This is the best battery right here. It is a serious freaking unit. Like, it has incredible cranking amps and so much capacity. It's freaking nuts. Best battery, hands down. So I was kind of looking for a battery box for this thing, but something very streamlined, and I'll show you why. The battery's gonna be mounted up here. The removal is with the dash in, where the goal is to be able to slide it out from underneath the dash, get it out of the car. So that would be kind of annoying, but we have this super cool rad lock. Let me show you what it does. So this is gonna be mounted to the battery box itself, probably right here. These cables, which is a quick disconnect. Look at this, you can't pull it off. It's a swivel, push the button, boom. Battery cable quick disconnect. We'll have the battery eyelet threaded on the back. So from here, it'll go here. This will live in the lid of the battery box. The ground will come down to our solid state relay. This is a kill switch. This is it, guys, and it lifts the ground. CarTech battery isolator. We've used this on all of the race cars, the demo car. It is so freaking good, and it doesn't, there's no discharge on the battery. It's crazy. This will be mounted here to the chassis. The ground cable will go from here down to the battery isolator right there. And when you want to remove the battery, you just be able to, boom, pull the positive, pull the negative. There'll be a tab here. The battery box will be kind of a slot that it kind of locks into. A tab right here, pull the battery right out. Boom. That's the strategy. So look how light, look how I can move this thing around. It's crazy. It's freaking insane. I got Antigravity to send the battery to Taylor. They're the people who make battery boxes, cables, all kinds of crimp ends, like these type of things. They crush it. So Taylor's actually gonna make me a custom battery box for this car that'll be super tight, super streamlined. It's not a universal battery box, that's the thing. Everyone sells a universal battery box, it's super bulky. It all kind of has the same strategy with like the all thread going down, and that bolts the box to the floor, and the lid is part of the means of fixing the battery to the chassis. This is totally different. So I reached out to Taylor, and they said, yep, they would take the project on. So we sent them a battery, and hopefully it'll come back ready to go. We will have to build some sides and a top for it to be able to slide into, kind of clip, and then tab right here, 2 riv nuts, boom, boom, pull it in, pull it out. Pretty cool strategy. We got that figured out last night. We got the battery cables where they're gonna run, because that's a big thing too, where you're gonna put bulkheads, gotta think about that. So the next thing that I'm gonna do is mount the battery isolator. This needs to be mounted to a super good ground, because the negative cable goes here and this bolts to the chassis. So the negative cable of the battery grounds through this to the chassis. Because this is an aluminum chassis, it's all glued together, spot welded in just a couple of places. It really utilizes these sheet metal screws to hold it together. We kind of found a place that is going to be kind of the structure of the chassis. It connects everything, big cast piece directly down to frame rails. There's some good conductivity through here. I think that's the word. So This is gonna be mounted here, but I'm gonna basically weld a receiver on here and tap it so that this goes right into the chassis and is welded right to the chassis, because you cannot do riv nut grounding like this. That'll never work. Riv nut grounding is not a thing. All bad. I'm gonna go ahead and make that receiver and get it welded to the chassis. Okay, I found some perfect material for exactly what I'm talking about. The battery kill switch is going to land right on here. Drill and tap this to bolt directly into there. Drill and tap this so that the battery cable on the inside of the tunnel can get grounded to that, and then that'll also give me a stud for everything else to land on at the same time. I'll trim it right here. I'll probably tap a couple of extra holes right here just to have extra space, and then I'll weld that sucker right into the chassis. Okay, this is gonna be my grounding block. Battery kill switch. I just went and marked those holes, and then I'll tap one right here, which will be perfectly aligned to go through the chassis, and then have the cable on the inside, and then I'll probably tap two more down here just to be safe. This is the main ground stud that the whole entire car is going to ground to. This is gonna go right up in here. What I'm gonna do is drill a hole in here so that we can get grounds on the inside of the tunnel, and then also be able to stack grounds here. But this is the beginning of it. I'm still gonna probably drill and tap down here. I just wanna figure out where it goes, then I'll strategically place the grounds. Drilled my hole right there. That is Alex, so go ahead and, yeah, thread her in. Just wanna make sure she's all flat. Now I just got to figure out where I want to have any additional grounds. Maybe one in this corner, one there, something like that, and we'll be good to go. All right, I drilled a couple more holes. I'm going to do 5 mil down here because most of the small eyelets that we have they don't go over 6 mil very well. They go over 5 mil perfectly. And then this, it will be back to that 10 mil, the 3/8 stud for a battery cable. And then this will be ECU ground, coil, you know, whatever we need. But yeah, you already know. Straight tap.
Whoa, 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 dude. What is,
Straight tap.
Is that a tap? Oh my God. Oh wow, you're doing the in out? Normally you just send it. That's
because it's thick.
Wow.
Tighten this thing, dude. Needs more torque. Boom! Okay, okay, okay. Damn, dude. That's some torque right there. Well, I don't know how to cut threads in the mill yet.
Ah, okay.
That's a different learning experience.
Okay,
dude.
okay.
I'll figure that out, but I don't know how to do that yet. You gotta like set the time. I don't know.
Yeah, how does it fall?
I don't know.
That's crazy.
But it knows. Okay, she's ready to weld in. Alex just cleaning up the tunnel there. He's lost. He's lost, guys.
Yeah, lost. There
He's lost.
Like this.
There you go. Yeah. No, yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's the way right there. Little tip, because we're drilling a hole and then we want it to be centered on the inside here, underneath the car, got a hole. Okay, we're underneath the car and I'm gonna use a countersunk bolt to get the plate centered on the hole. So obviously, the hole can move around, there's some slop on the bolt. But if we do that, it'll hold it completely centered while we get it fit up.
Go ahead.
God damn it. Going so good, then boom! Blows up. Hey, can you pull that bolt out? Plate's flexing a little, so I want to just have you.
You want to put a nut on the back of that?
It just needs to be pushed down.
Oh, okay.
Does it go on? Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I figured. Okay, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
That was so hard. No TIG button. Bend over to this. And that little hole right there kept popping and catching on fire because there's glue behind it, and I ground it out and I went over it and I ground it out and I went over it. So just gonna cover that with some seam seal and move on, because I got this one to look good and that one to look good. And at least you'll be able to see those. And the ones underneath, they're pretty decent too, just that one in the corner. Grounding strategy done.